What's up, Squid Squad? T with the Diva here. I'm coming to y'all this evening with a story time workplace edition. So I want to preface this by saying this is one of the times that I have to take accountability because I was in the wrong. Yep, that's right. I was wrong. It's just to be so mad that everything always had to be about me. All eyes on me. But anyway, I was doing something I know I wasn't supposed to be doing. But anyway, jump right into the story. So, I don't remember what year this was, but I'm just gonna remind y'all from the time I stepped into this department to the time they walked me out. This director, the Caucasian director lady, did not like me. She could not stand me. From the first day I walked on the scene, she did not like me. So anyway, we would have these meetings every other Thursday morning, if I'm remembering right. And it would just be like a catch-up meeting, just in case if it's anything to let us know about any new practices, if anybody new was in the department, if we had any new staff, supervisors, managers, any of that. Just something for us to catch up on or speak about any grievances that we may have had about anything that had gone on, if it was a workaround, if there was a issue with something with the systems, if it was just always just something for us to be able to air out any issues that we had, and also for management to have everybody together so that they can air out any issues that they had with us. So every morning when I would come to work, I would put my makeup on. Every morning. Yes. Every morning I will lay my makeup out on my desk and I would do my makeup. This was not an issue. I never got wrote up for this. Nobody ever talked to me about this. This was just something that I did every morning. Some people went and talked to their friends every morning. Some people went and got their breakfast and ate their breakfast wherever they wanted to eat it. Some people talked on the phone with their loved ones before they started work. I decided to do my makeup. So this particular morning, each and every member of each team, there were like different departments within this section, and all of the employees of this whole floor were included in this meeting. So I'm putting my makeup on, but I'm also taking notes. So I had the first thing we talked about, notes. I had all that written down. Of course, people will fall asleep in these meetings. People would be on their phones. People would be texting. People would just do all kind of stuff because some people just didn't pay attention unless they knew that we was going to talk about something that they had to give input in, and then they would be like all attention involved. So we all started this meeting. Everything going swell. I'm laying out my palette to, beat my face for the morning. So, but I'm still taking notes. They talk about the second item on the menu. I'm taking my notes. I'm still taking my notes. I'm documenting everything. I'm documenting. I'm saying what everybody said. I got the names of who said what. I know the times they said it. I'm just documenting in between because I know that she's watching. Of course, I look up and look at her and she's staring directly at me. So I'm like trying to be discreet while I put my makeup on. But of course, anytime I'm around anywhere, I was always going to be the center of attention. So that didn't even matter. So I'm putting my makeup on. The meeting usually lasted, I guess, 30 to 45 minutes. Maybe closer to the 30-minute mark. So we get done with the meeting. I cannot remember who walked up to me first because word travels really, really fast too. Word travels extremely fast in this department. Like, you find out stuff seconds after it happened. So I'm not sure who she communicated this with, but everybody knew that she was pissed. Everybody. So I forgot who came to my desk first and was like, "You was putting your makeup on?" I said, "Yeah, but I was taking notes. I took all the notes. I know everything we talked about." So two more people walked up to my desk. They like, she mad. She mad because you was putting your makeup on. I'm like, but I took notes. I got all. Who else got notes about what we talked about today? Everybody like, nobody. Not me. Not me. Not me. I ain't take no notes. I was on my phone. So I'm like, I got notes. I got everything we talked about. So they like, girl, whatever. So I went to my supervisor. At this point, my supervisor was the young lady who I told y'all that I ran against for Union Steward. She was my supervisor. So I went in her office just to check the temperature to see if she had heard anything too. She like, girl, she is so mad at you. I'm like, for what? What is she mad at me about? Like, what's wrong? She like, girl, you can't do nothing. She gonna find something wrong. It don't matter. I'm like, why is she mad at me? Like, why has she got a problem with me? So she just like, so I'm just talking to her. I'm in her office. I'm just talking to her. And she like, you already know how she is. You already know that she was watching you. She was watching you, so she couldn't watch nobody else. She don't care that you was putting, that you got everything noted. She just was pissed. Now, let me explain that this is directly after this meeting is over. Everybody just had time to pretty much go to their desk. Like, that's how quick stuff get around. Like, people done IM people, sent messages to people. Like, that's how quickly the word travel in this department. So I'm just chuckling under my breath like, this is just crazy. How obsessed with me that this lady, and I don't want to say obsessed because I would hope that she just wasn't obsessed with me, but she really just was honed in on whatever it was that I was doing. I can remember we had a meeting off site, like off the floor. We was in like an auditorium or something, and she just watched me the entire time to the point where she knew how many times I had gone to the bathroom. Girl, she knew how many times you had gotten up for anything. So yeah, it was like, you already know she know everything you're gonna do. I'm like, but that's so crazy. That's like stalkerish, kind of like, because why are you so interested and honed in on what I'm doing and when I'm doing it? I just felt like it was just always, like I said, it was always something. But anyway, back to this one. So I goes in her office, in my supervisor's office, and I'm just chopping it up with her. She telling me about how who came up to her and who said something to her about her being mad. And she just like, that's just Tanisha. That's just how she is with her. I don't know why. It is not no big deal, but she gonna make it a big deal, of course. So I'm talking to her. I left out. I'm just chuckling to myself because, okay, I shouldn't have been putting my makeup on. I mean, I guess I shouldn't have been putting it on no mornings that I'm coming to work, even though people everywhere else doing something else. But I know I got a target on my back. So yes, I should have been more careful. But my point was always, why are you so interested in what I'm doing? Why do you care this much? And please believe, she could care less that I wasn't honed in and really listening to what we was talking about, because nobody cared about the meeting, because whatever you said and whatever was important to you wasn't gonna get done. So it really wasn't nothing that we needed to care about anyway. It pretty much was a meeting so that they can give us the metrics from the weeks before, and let us know, give us our tongue lashing if we hadn't done well or hadn't done any good. It wasn't nothing that was just so important for us to be present. And if you call in on this date, you get 2 extra points or anything like that. It was nothing like that. So the meeting was not, it was just stuff to inform us of like what the numbers are and if there had been any new changes, any updated new changes that we needed to know about. So after that, I went into my manager, the cool guy, office. I went in there. I just went in there just to chop it up with him, just to talk. So I goes in there. I brought it up. I said, you hear how up in arms she was because I was putting on my makeup? He said, why was you putting your makeup on? I said, I do that every morning. I said, and I took notes. I was going to stand on them notes that I took, for real. So I'm like, I took notes. He said, you know she got a wild hair up her about you. Why you gonna give her some ammunition? I said, is it that serious though? Like, she can care less. He said, nope. She don't care who was asleep. She don't care who was running. She don't care who else was talking. All she cared about is you and what you was doing. So what are you going to do about that? You just going to lay your makeup out on the desk and just start doing your makeup? I said, okay. All right. I'm wrong. I said, I'm just wrong. I said, but this just is so, he said, listen, sometimes you just got to play the game. He said, it's not even about your dignity, your self-respect. He said, you just got to play the game sometime. He said, she's the director. She does not like you. That has been established. Just play the game. If you know that she around and she watching you, just don't do whatever you was doing. I said, okay. I digress. I said, my hands is up and my mouth is shut. It's nothing else that I can say. And I did get out of that. And it was just so funny because, of course, the whole joke of the day was me getting caught putting my makeup on in the morning meeting. But it was just crazy because I just couldn't even believe that I was the center of attention that serious. Like, I had to be the person that, you know how you go in the store and like the joke is all the white people can just steal all they want to because they watching all the black people. So the white people can just do what they want to do. So it like gave everybody else license to just do whatever they wanted to do because she was only going to be watching me. And it would just be like, I guess I just wanted to see how it felt to be normal sometimes. I wanted to, I guess, try to make a statement that I was really the only one who took notes. Nobody cared about that. I really just wanted to, I wanted to make that point that although I was putting my makeup on, I know everything that we spoke about, everybody that spoke and everything that they spoke about in the meeting. I wish I could have even ever been one of the people who she didn't care to watch. Like, I would have loved to see how that felt because I never got that opportunity. It was always all eyes on me every time. Like I told y'all, that meeting we had off in the auditorium offsite, it was that, and that just wasn't the only one. She knew how many times I got up to go to the bathroom, and it would be like that each and every time. Now, when I say that I take full accountability, of course I know that I wasn't supposed to be sitting at my desk doing my makeup. Of course I know that even though it was my daily routine, now when we were at that meeting, where she was there front and center, and I knew that I would be the only one that she would be watching, that I would need to change my program. I needed to do something different. That wasn't the time for me to prove a point and try to take the notes while I was putting my makeup on, to show her that I was paying attention, because I know everything that they talked about. I just should have taken notes and that's it. Not put my makeup on. Just take notes. Yeah. That was one of the examples or the instances that I can say that I was totally on the wrong side of things. Knowing that I was the forever target, knowing that all eyes was always on me, knowing that she always wanted to talk about what I was doing or wasn't doing, knowing that every time we went to a place where we all gathered together as a unit and she was there, that I would be the only person that she paid attention to. Out of the entire group, out of like 100 and something reps, she only paid attention to me. And I just had to, I didn't want to face that fact. I just didn't want to. I wanted to be amongst the common folks. I wanted to be amongst the people who just did what they did and flew under the radar, and nobody ever cared, and nobody ever talked to them, and nobody ever looked for them, and I wanted to be one of those people, but I wasn't. And I should have just understood that I wasn't normal. As normal as I felt and as normal as I feel, I wasn't normal to her. Whatever it was that I did that made her not like me from that first day, she decided then that I wouldn't be under the common folks, or I wouldn't be one of the normal folks that will fly under the radar. She just meant that she would keep a target on me. I knew there was a target on me. I should have acted accordingly. I should have moved accordingly. And I should not have given her anything to complain about. I should have listened to my manager. I should have, although no matter how unfair I thought it was, no matter how much of micromanaging and just harassment that I thought it was, like he said, she was the director. She was the boss. I should have just did what she wanted me to do. And when I knew I was being watched, just act like I knew I was being watched and nothing else. Let it go. Don't question it. Don't fight it. No disputing it. This is my reality. And hey, that's what it was. I didn't get in any trouble. I didn't get written up. Oh, but don't you think that was because she didn't try? Because she did. She wanted me. She talked to my union steward. And she wanted me to have a written documentation. She just wanted it to be documented that I had been spoken to about putting my makeup on during the bi-weekly meeting. And my union steward was like, nope, you can't do that. I'm not putting in writing nothing that you're not going to make up a rule, because we got a union. You're not going to make up a rule that she's going to get written up because she was doing something. So he said, so are you going to write up the people who was in the cafeteria? Are you going to write up the people who was on their phones? Okay, we can write her up. Who else wasn't paying attention? Who else didn't have your undivided attention at that meeting? Who else? Bring me everybody else who didn't. pay attention to the meeting. And of course, she didn't have that because she only paid attention to me. So she tried. She tried for me to have that put in writing that said that I was putting my makeup on during the bi-weekly meeting, and he just shut it down and told her, nope, we ain't doing that. We won't be able to do that, and she will not have a documented discussion because she was putting on makeup unless you're going to bring me the people who was doing everything else also. You're not going to be able to do that. So yeah, what I didn't get in trouble. I didn't get reprimanded, but it wasn't because she didn't want to reprimand me. She definitely wanted to reprimand me. And a lot of times that was a lot of the reasons why her hate would grow, because she would want to reprimand me about things, and my union store and the rest of the union would be like, no, because other people do this. Did you say something to such and such who just did this 2 weeks ago? Did you say something to... You can't just write her up for something that you have let other people go for. And I know and I'm aware of you letting these people go. How am I going to explain you only putting her on paper, or you only documented a discussion for her, but you didn't document a discussion on nobody else about nothing else? So she would get excessively angry if she wanted to reprimand me for something that my union or HR let her know that it wouldn't be right because she didn't write somebody else up, or she let somebody else get away with the same thing, and they were aware of who she let get away with it. I may not have been aware, but they had been aware of who she let get away with whatever she let them get away with. And she would be so angry that she couldn't be supported in this foolishness. That also made her hatred for me snowball. It took such a snowball effect because every time she wanted to reprimand me or punish me or document something, it didn't always go through that way, because somebody stopped her and said, well, we're not going to be able to do this. I remember one day, right before I got fired, her office wasn't far from the cool manager's office. And I was in the office talking to him, and the HR rep came up, and I heard all of this. I heard this entire conversation. The HR rep came up to our floor, and he walked in her office, and I heard him say, we can't get rid of Tanisha today. We not going to be able to do nothing. We not going to be able to terminate her today. And I'm just looking, the guy that was the manager, and he looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I just shook my head, like, and I can clearly hear the HR rep walking in her office. Well, we can't do nothing this time. We're not going to be able to do it. So it's like, I don't know how many of those meetings, how many times, like, I only knew of the times that I was told about, like how many times people came to me and said, yeah, she tried to fire you. She tried to fire you. She been wanting to fire you. She been trying to fight. Like, I didn't even know about all the other times that I didn't know about, that nobody ever told me about. But that time, I literally heard it. I was in the office and I could hear him. The walls were so thin, I could hear him. Well, we can't get Tanisha this time. And I'm just like, that is so, like... So yeah, I just was privy to a couple of things, but by the time I had heard old boy go into the office and say that to her, it was too late, because I would be fired. That was probably December, January, and I would be fired in like March. So the damage was already done. The damage had been done. And like I said, she would get angrier and angrier the more she tried to do, and they wouldn't allow her to do. So she would be like, that just started. I don't know if the first time she tried to do something, they told her, because of course I only know about what somebody came back and told me. There are several other instances where things happened or conversations went on or meetings were had that I had no idea of, that I was privy to, none the wiser. I had no idea that these things were going on. So I don't know how many times she sent something down to HR and wanted me to be fired. I just knew that she wanted me gone, but I don't know every time that she sent something, did something, said something, reported something. Like, I wouldn't be privy to all of that information, because for the most part, they wouldn't even come back and tell me after so long, after they realized what it was and how much she just really did not like me. They just wouldn't even repeat stuff. It was just, everybody knew. It was common knowledge, especially to like the union stewards and anybody else around them, or the team leaders, the team leader too, like all of those people, anybody within that little circle, like her secretary, all of that, all of those people, they all knew. Everybody would just know. So they would just know, and they would just keep it to themselves. They wouldn't even come to me and repeat it, because like, why would I want to keep on hearing about that? Like, no, I didn't want to keep hearing about that. But anyway, a situation where I could say that I was in the wrong, and I can take full accountability, and I should not, even though I put my makeup on every morning, it was a part of my daily routine. I'm aware that she's totally staring at me in every meeting, and everything that we're in, training sessions, whatever we're in that she's a part of. I definitely should not have been putting my makeup on. I didn't do it any time after that, but again, the damage had been done. Especially as outspoken as I was, just like when I told the young man that she could hear him saying good morning, she just didn't want to say good morning. Like, I would say stuff like that, and I know that that would make her really, really, really mad, because she of course hated to be called out. So you would be better if you just allowed her to be rude and let her go on with being rude, and nobody ever says anything about how rude she would be. That would be the ideal way to handle that situation. And of course, we know that I just wasn't that type. I just couldn't do that. So yeah, that was a situation that I can, and I'm sure that wasn't the only one. Well, the only two, because I guess you can say that I probably could have minded my own business when she didn't say good morning to the young man. But it was just things like that that she would do that would just burn me up. Like, the type of person she was, I really just didn't like it. It was just for no reason. But she was the boss. And if I wasn't going to bow down, I would probably need to bow out. And yeah, so go and get in the comments, eat me up, tell me all about how it should have happened way before the 20 years and all that other stuff. I got it. I can dig it. I can handle it. But yeah, that definitely did happen. That is it for my story time. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Continue to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I really appreciate you. Thanks so much, Swig Squad. This is Tea with the Diva.